Welcome back, everybody. It's time now for the Game 3 decider. Tongfu versus CDEC Youth. It's do or die for both these teams in the Nanyang Chinese qualifiers. Some gods joining me as Winter. We've got a draft now, Winter. Here we go, the decider. You pumped up?
And I'm in the right game.
You're in the right game? That's, about to say, I forget how you're feeling. As long as you're in the right game, then we're in business. So this time around...
Just very tired, my friend.
It's alright. We'll get
Just
through
very
this
tired.
one game at a time. I'll hold your hand if you need it, but get some Red Bulls.
Yeah,
You know,
right. Hold my hand, please. I'm
I
not
was-
at the. I'm not at the. Okay, maybe it wasn't. It's not Red Bull, but I wanted to say I'm not at the house.
yeah, you can just drink Red Bull. You know.
No, it's not. It's not Red Bull. No, I meant the other house, the Fanatic house.
Oh, okay. I was
They
so
have
excited
another
today
drink.
because we got a Red Bull shipment. We haven't had sugar-free Red Bulls at the house for like 4 months. We haven't had any since the last summit. Basically, that was when we last had sugar-free Red Bulls. We finished them during the summit, and then we haven't. All of our Red Bulls since then has just been these like blueberry flavors and strawberry orange flavors. None of like the classic sugar-free ones, which is like the main one I drink. And in my excitement when we got some today, I accidentally, because I was cutting open the packaging with a knife, I accidentally stabbed into a can and it just like exploded into my face and all over my shirt. So I got a bit too excited, and it was definitely a learning experience not to basically what I'm trying to say, Winter, is don't stab Red Bull cans with sharp knives.
You're clumsy, but don't be clumsy in this game. We're gonna see a lot of Phantom Lances soon.
Phantom Lances? Oh, well, they ban Ember, but they pick Witch Doctor.
Yeah, I thought they would actually snag the hero first here.
Because Tongfu could take it if they
Yeah,
were
Tongfu
worried.
can actually pick it. It's just the same cycle of heroes, you know. It works very well together. Even though there's a lot of difference in, it's much more different on the previous patches where there's less hero picks. But this patch has become really, really all about in the past month, all about the few heroes that is very strong together. People just pick like the combos together, you know, like Tusk Undying together, and then with a fighting carry, whatever fighting carry you have, Ember, PL, Slug. Slug is a much more less prioritized hero over the month though. We see mostly Ember or PL with this lineup.
It's the anti-mage for CDEC's aim. And not what I mean, Tongfu going very heavy fighting. They've got a pretty damn good dual off lane, although one where anti-mage can at least look to get whatever farm it presents itself to him.
Yeah, and CDEC manages to get their Earthshaker this time
Yeah.
around, and they are actually changing plans so far because they see the Tusk and Undying. They know they're not going to be able to take a lot of team fights. So I think the anti-mage choice here is, even though I still think sometimes, actually most of the time, PL would be a much better split pusher because he's also strong when you need him to be fighting. But I still can see what CDEC are setting up for because they realize it's kind of going to be difficult for them to take team fights at this point. So they're picking much more late
Yeah.
game focus, much more speed push to deal with the heavy 5 men that Tongfu are going to present to them this game with the Undying and Tusk.
And I feel like anti-mage can at least somewhat hold his own against a Tusk Undying lane. It's one of those lanes
And
which
he's not
sounds
gonna-
bad for an
he's
AM,
not-
but with support
He's
and
not going to farm.
he can,
Dude, he's not going to farm.
he can get a bit of he can get enough farm to still get a Battle Fury at some stage. He's a catch-up farmer.
He have to tell his supports to stay in the lane. I think Shaker and Witch Doctor have
Yep.
to. I mean, especially the Shaker has to be constantly in the lane. But even if the Shaker's in the lane, I feel like Tusk Undying is a lane that with these 3 heroes, they cannot even beat these 2 heroes once they get level 2. It's so difficult for them to beat these
Yeah.
heroes. And Tongfu have a very classic C-deck lineup. This is just a C-deck graph all the time. They play Tusk Undying, TA and Ember or PL together, or Slug, whatever suits the game. And
It's
they just
definitely
take,
not going to be a fighting anti-mage. There's no intel heroes on Tongfu's
No.
side. There's
And
no real good
Tongfu-
targets for Mana Void.
Tongfu can just pick a Visage and it's just like a C-deck lineup. And against anti-mage, you always see teams picking these 2 heroes, TA or Visage. You just go for right click because AM is very weak in the early phase of the game. You want to take advantage of that by having a lot of right click damage, and they're on dire side. So it's just I'm not sure about the Rubik ban, but I feel like Visage is much stronger on Tongfu's side. The Rubik ban is mostly because I think they don't want them to have a support that has a strong, reliable lockdown against the Queen and the Anti-Mage.
Yeah.
Because Visage might fit their lineup, but he doesn't provide his team a solid, like a telekinesis, so he
Well,
can
I feel
catch.
like they need a solid catch because if Antimage is split pushing, they have no way to pick him off right now. They're only like a blink Walrus punch.
Yeah, but they don't have to pick him off, because their lineup is just so strong
Yeah,
that
they can
just
win
keep,
the early game. It's
they
more
just
if they
win
want
the
to make sure they have that backup plan. Like, let's say Antimage does some like you mess up the early game, Antimage gets his Battlefield online. At that point, you want to have some way of maybe picking him off and
yeah.
catching him.
If they want to go for the same idea that you suggested, the other hero would be Lion.
Yeah,
Since
Lion comes to mind.
CDEC already chose to go for the Disruptor,
Yep.
which puts the Earthshaker on off lane. I think this is much better because I already said Earthshaker, Witch Doctor AM, you're not gonna win against Tusk and Undying, you're screwed.
Yep.
So you have to get another range hero to help the lane. But Disruptor, once again, it's not also the best laning support like Dazzle or even a Bane. He's still decent, he has long range and a good level 1 nuke, but he still might not be able to provide so much for the AM at the start. We'll see how well the Tusk and Undying plays the lane out. I still think there's potential for Tusk and Undying to beat these 3 heroes in the lane if they play it well enough.
Okay, well, we'll see what Tongfu look to snag as their last pick, whether they think they need some disable or they want to go more on the damage train with a Visage-like pick.
I think Visage, Venge, even Venge could be, we haven't seen Venge a lot, but Venge
That
could work.
hero is, sadly,
That hero sucks.
rarely picked anymore.
If you want disable, you go for Lion, and if you want to push, you go for Visage. So where does it put Venge in? Venge is like a nobody.
Yeah.
Stuck
Her Hal got replaced by Medallion basically, and it's I don't know. It's a sad place to be for vengeful
And
spirits.
you pick Venge to counter Bat Rider, and when you don't see Bat Rider, you don't see the need to pick
Yes.
Venge.
Oh, well, all the heroes at Venge, like Venge was also good against like Chronosphere when Void was popular. Tongfu go Warlock again. Okay, that makes sense. Big team fight.
It's the same idea with
Yeah.
the Visage, basically.
Yeah, with a bit more team fight. Slightly less single target damage, way more team fight, and similar amount of pushing potential, I'd say.
Yeah, it's the same idea, basically. They want to just use the A-Gaze, they get the A-Gaze, they push, they have this big ultimate that CDEC can't fight in because obviously you have an AM and you're looking to split push, and that's why I felt that they didn't even bother about picking a hero that can catch the AM because I don't think they need to catch the AM. They just need to get their levels on the heroes and group out in one lane and just keep pushing until they demolish your base.
All right, well, here it is. Game 3, the decider. There's no score ticker up top. I apologize, guys, but it is still not functional in the Reborn client.
Reborn things?
Hmm?
Is it Reborn things or they just didn't have to score all
Reborn
out?
things. You can set it as a best of 3, but it like we saw yesterday, it would say like the wrong team has a 1-0 advantage, and the settings just don't seem to work correctly yet. But it's being worked. It's being reported and worked on, so I imagine it will be fixed in the coming patch or two. But here we are. Game 3, the decider. We're going to see CDEC Youth on the Radiant side. They took game 1, lost game 2, but they're going to have AIM playing the carry anti-major. First time this series appeared in this series. Demons on the Disruptor. Icy on the Witch Doctor. Inflame going to be playing mid on Queen of Pain. June going to be going off lane on the Earthshaker. And Tongfu Winter on the Dire side. Who's playing what over there?
And on the team, on the Dire side, we have Zex Bingo playing the offlane Tusk. We have UU9 playing the TA. We have Faith on Undying. Zinq on his Slug. And we have, lastly, LPC once more on his support Warlock, which proved super successful the last game, apart from one Golem, which only managed to kill Spiderlings.
Hey. Don't play Marino. We should just be happy we're getting a Warlock. We're seeing some different picks. We saw a mid Dazzle yesterday. We're seeing Warlock today.
Yeah,
We're seeing Kunkka. Like, this patch
this
is
team
not
has-
fully explored yet.
Yeah, but this team is only on this team, right? They only pick some of the few other teams that pick different stuff, I mean, even though you say different, Dazzle is like a common hero. It's just
Yes.
the way they play the Dazzle is different.
All right, the different picks is more the Warlock and the Kunkka we're seeing, I guess. But they're also very situational, like 5th pick supports. We're not seeing them like prioritized by any team. So it's always like a 5th pick support where they come up.
Friend, don't worry, things will change soon.
Early cast comes out. That's going to get the double mount. U9 gets very low. Inflame blinks forward. There's no refraction.
Bye,
This will be a
Blink.
first blood. Great play coming out from CDEC. That Witch Doctor cast did some serious damage. Inflame, dude. What the? Don't last hit when there's an Undying on you. I don't even... He may have been dead anyways, but... Lie!
Flame side.
This is where
You talk about me not flaming, and this is the flame.
Okay, with your
material.
flame away. What? He stopped to last hit when Undying is on him. What? What is going on?
I mean, I think he's still dead anyway, but it's
Maybe.
just-
He needed a DK plus right click, and he gave him a free right click. He might not have got that right click off. If he ran north, I don't think Undying gets that right
Oh
click
yeah,
off.
yeah. If he ran top towards the
If he ran upwards, he would have lived.
Yeah, true.
I mean, if you run backwards and die because you run into him, like, okay, at least you tried to run, but that was weird. I don't know.
For the temple.
Inflame is
cocky.
maybe on tilt from last game.
Hockey, and he didn't even say anything back this game. The last
Oh,
game he was like, lie, lie.
Yep.
This game he's like just quiet.
Do you think he's on tilt a little bit, maybe, or is it just a bit of a misplay?
He's always on tilt.
Yeah.
Like every game we casted him today and yesterday, he was always having a very tough early game, you know. Maybe apart from one SF game, but the Invoker games especially.
Oh, we'll see. Right now, the pressure at bottom lane with the Undying mid did allow AIM to get at least a little bit of early farm, but with Undying back down here, Icy's basically going to follow around the Undying to some extent. He sees him bottom, he comes back. Although initially mid, he was there just going on the aggressive end. With the haste rune, he's getting some good harass off. Both offlaners have boots plus magic stick though, and this is where they're level 2, level 3. They have boots, they have a magic stick, and Tusk has a mango as well for some burst mana if he needs it against the anti-mage, and this offlane gets very tricky for CDEC youth to deal with at this stage.
At least the AM is able to get some farm. I think it's important for him to be able to get farm in the first few waves, you know. Because usually against the pressure lane like this, it's very tough to farm the first few lanes. Now he has at least some basic items. Yes. I think Pro Man Shield is very important in this lane because he's going to be taking a lot of right clicks from the two heroes. Then he needs to get the Ring of Health.
Even against the Tombstone, it's great because it blocks majority of the zombie damage as well. So, very handy item to have.
Yeah, the zombie does what 45 damage, I think?
It's minimal. You don't get the full block chance. It's what 53% creep block chance now since the latest patch. But it always blocks from heroes, so that's definitely value out of the poor man's shield. Or the pro man's shield, as Mulini calls it. Blink in Flame grabs the bounty rune before LPC can, and doesn't actually go on the aggressive. Oh, his Shadow Strike was on cooldown still. Okay, I was about to say, I was surprised to see him not go on either TA or the Warlock there, but nice little bit of play there for him to secure the rune for himself. And bottom rune, well, it's about to spawn. The 4-minute markers are just about to come up now. They go in with a fissure at mid. U9 has no mana for a refraction. Inflame, not enough damage output from him. Tengo will make sure that the TA survives. Inflame will chew through his bottle charges and likely go and grab the top rune. His Faith will grab the bottom one and be glimpsed back. A very defensive glimpse used just to make sure that the Witch Doctor could survive the boots Undying chasing him down.
You know what? I was worried he might blink in there and die.
In mid.
Yeah.
Yeah. that would sum up
I was like,
a lot of his
it's not
game.
going to surprise me if he blinks in. You know?
Oh, he may be finding a kill here at mid. Nope, Shadow Word with some heal available for U9, but this Radiant Sentry has been very important because it's meant the TA cannot meld dodge strike the Shadow Strike. What am I, meld dodge strike? Meld dodge the Shadow Strike. And as a result, U9 has had a rougher time against the Queen of Pain at mid.
They still have the similar amount of CS though. It's just that he was taking a lot more harass. But usually it's TA that gets a hit by a little in this matchup. CS wise.
Alright, well, we'll see how things progress there. For now, Earthshaker rotating a little bit off the offlane to help from time to time, but he's missing out experience. Under his tower is a creep wave as we speak. Bottom lane, there's been initiation. There's going to be a snowball back to counter-initiate this. Tusk looking to get on the aggressive. Icy's the one he wants to charge, and with those Icy shards, it looks like you may be able to bring him down. The Voodoo Restoration is there, and down goes Witch Doctor. That's one, and they're looking for two. Disruptor dies to the Undying. That's 2 kills going the way of this
Look at
Undying
that.
Tusk lane.
It's 2 heroes. They can just trash the 3 heroes, no problem.
Well, that's because the 3 heroes got aggressive. They went in looking for kills, which perhaps was the wrong idea.
Oh yeah, he had a mango, so
Yes.
it allowed him to actually cast snowball and the shots.
It was the mango that they didn't respect. Always respect the mangoes.
Okay. You respect the mangoes.
Yep.
And the stick charge. He had a stick charge on a mango just now.
It's definitely I like the concept of mangoes. When it first came out, the first like mango purchases I saw were all kind of like, they didn't really do much, but you're seeing players figure out more and more how to use the item, so I like what it does for its price.
It's very important for the off laners though. It changed a lot of things, you know.
Yeah.
Like some heroes became stronger because, like, a good example would be Bristleback, because you can't clarity in the lane. And you would want to have the mango to give you that short burst of mana so you can actually drop another extra quill spray to get kills. But for Darkseer, mango doesn't help too much.
No. Walrus Punch is going to lead the way here at bottom. Aim on the receiving end of that. They're going on the Undying, but here's the Tombstone. Can they focus it down? Queen of Pain going to blink out, look for the kills. Anti-Mage, meanwhile, going for the Tombstone. He's got to bring it down fast. We'll do so with Humble Disruptor. And Queen of Pain will get Faith on Undying. 4 heroes committed to that, but they get 1 and they secure some room for Anti-Mage to farm.
He almost got a kill as well. I think if the Tusk didn't run, just keep fighting, because they were focusing on the Undying though, I think he shouldn't have ran. And he should have just, at the very least, get it to 1-for-1 trade for them. But it's still fine for them, you know, because it was like 4 heroes rotating in, and they only lost 1 hero. Now he's gonna TP back, refill his bottle. Everything is gonna be aggressive again on the lane because they have mana once more.
Alright. No. This is a small reprieve for the anti-mage, but you've got a level 6 Tusk in your lane who's constantly applying pressure, so by no means he's lane. Anti-mage can jungle fairly well. Like the Poor Man's Shield with treads and a Ring of Health, you've got enough regen and decent enough damage that you can jungle on this hero. Top lane we see Slack take down an early tier 1 tower though. And this is worrisome for CDEC.Y. They haven't got the ability to really rotate and fix these lanes outside of the Queen of Pain, who is going to fight the Slack at top. He's going to lose the fight in flame. Oh, XingQ, he shouldn't have ran. He should have just kept fighting, it looks like. Maybe worried about a follow-up, a secondary scream, but he backed off for a second. Maybe missed out on some damage potential there. And gave Queen of Pain time to bottle.
Yeah, he might have been able to get another right click on. Might have been able.
Well, it was the Queen of Pain who bottled up. If he kept attacking, I don't think Queen of Pain would have been able to bottle as well.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, I think they still gained something out of it because the Queen dropped the precious cooldown on the Sonic Wave.
Momentary panic, perhaps, coming out from XingQ. But it is a slight net win for Tongfu. Because Queen of Pain is the one hero who can roam and help these lanes out. They're struggling in the bottom lane. Not getting much at top. Queen of Pain's the one roamer, and Sonic Wave being on cooldown is basically their entire gank army potential gone. You can't do much without Queen of Pain Sonic Wave on this CDEC side right now. You can try and get AM some farm, but that's about it.
AM is still having quite a very good number of last hits though. I didn't expect him to have so many last hits. The Tusk has 38 and AM has 58. That's actually quite good. If you look at the Slug's last hits, it's about the same.
Denied. Do you get last hits for zombies? Like I wonder if it's been inflated by zombies.
Even if it's inflated by zombies, it still has a very good amount of last hits. Because if you think about the Slug had a total free lane because it's an off lane shaker, which doesn't do anything to the Slug.
Yeah. Yes, even roam mid, so for AM it's quite formidable right now. And AM is at least in a decent position to get that Battle Fury by maybe 15, 16 minutes.
Provided he doesn't die.
They haven't got the heroes to kill him. That's the thing this game. That's where AM, because just by not dying, he's kind of guaranteed, I would say, at latest maybe a 17-minute Battle Fury if he doesn't get much farm. But because they have no real way of killing him, unless he blinks in and makes a big misplay, he's not going to die this game. I'd be very surprised to see him die before his Battle Fury comes up.
There's still a chance because Snowball and Walrus Punch, they still have some like lockdown, you know, for if they can catch him. He's not that hard to kill if they bring TA along with the minus armor. Then the Walrus Punch will do a lot of damage.
They're going to glimpse back the Tusk. They're actually going to him. The Snowball is there. He's trapped inside the kinetic field. Undying off to the side. There's a Sonic Wave and they blink forward. That's the Sonic Wave coming back online. They get one. Anti-Mage is maybe going to look for more. He's going to look for the Tombstone for now. Once the last hit, not going to get it. Goes to the Disruptor, but it's 2 kills and a Tomb going the way of CDEC.Y. That was just nice aggression coming out. They kind of recognized that Tusk, when he walked forward and Walrus Punch AM, they could just glimpse him back underneath the tower and there was nothing Undying could do to help him. Nice bit of aggression coming out from CDEC Youth.
Yeah, but they knew the queen got the haste rune though, because they were contesting. The TA was contesting the queen. They
Radiant's
still
middle tower is under attack.
rest. Haste rune.
They're cutting out a bit on me, Winter. Uh-oh, what's going on here? Skype doing its thing, perhaps. We'll see if that fixes itself, but... That gets Anti-Mage up to Perseverance, so now just about 2.4k gold away from the Battle Fury. And we'll see Winter completely vanish from my call, but see if he can come back soon. June working on a Blink Dagger now has 1200 gold in the off lane. As Tongfu look to reply with some pressure of their own. This is knowing that that Queen of Pain Sonic Wave is on cooldown. They take a T1 tower with these. They've got to work around this Sonic Wave cooldown. Whenever it's used, they can apply pressure. They can take objectives. They've got the chaotic offering. When they've got Rock and there's no Queen of Pain Sonic Wave, they've got to play aggressive. And they managed to get some good objectives out of that. Winter, are you back with me? No. Xingqiu blinks forward, wants June. Echo Slam and everything. They TP in the Queen of Pain. The Scream will finish him off. Oh boy. Aggression gets punished. I'm sure Slark, that was his fresh Blink Dagger. He just picked that up. Thought he could go for a kill on the Earthshaker and doesn't manage to get it. Oh boy. That is worrisome for you, for Tongfu, when you see that happen. Meanwhile, Undying. Okay. This is a dire Undying. He's going to have to just TP out here. There we go. Very close to some teammates. Or some, as well as opponents.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now, Winter. Welcome back. Can you hear me? You're awfully quiet now.
Skype connection issues. I don't know what's going on.
All right, we're good. I can hear you now. So, didn't miss too much. Although I guess you didn't disconnect at all. They're going to blink in mid lane. June is the target. This time around, they're successful. The previous Blink Dagger attempt on him led to Slark dying, but it's not going to be one kill. It's going to be 2 kills. So, Xingqiu makes up for his previous mistake and finds some kills to go the way of Tongfu.
Yeah, we see this from... Did we cast the eHome game? Maybe I was with LD. But we saw it from eHome where when a Tusk gets a good start, he's able to just set up kills everywhere on the map, wherever he goes. That's the strength of the hero. Don't need too many items, just needs your levels. Then you can set up a kill on majority of the heroes that are in the pool right now.
Yep. Well, he's going to keep on roaming around. Level 8, about to have enough money for that Blink Dagger if he wants to go for it. And Bingo is, yeah, on the aggressive. Sonic Wave back up, though. It felt like a lot of the objectives Tongfu got was while CDEC Sonic Wave was on cooldown. So once that comes back up, it gets a whole lot easier for them.
Yeah.
Can he hit the pounce? He can, but TP's out. So Inflame will escape dodge and won't get the top tier 1 tower. It looked like he was kind of creep skipping it, hoping to be able to bring down this tier 1. It's going to get denied by Xingqiu. So a bit of cash taken away from CDEC there.
Yeah, and that's the blink from the Tusk though. So it will allow him to actually catch the AM. If they actually bring enough heroes to lock him down and kill him.
This bottom lane looks dangerous. I was just about to say, June now gets caught out. No Echo Slam available. He wants the Tusk. There's the rock drop. Sonic Wave to follow. They trade 1 for 1. Echo Slam comes out from June. It just came back up. Queen of Pain blinks in. 2 for 2 now. Witch Doctor dead. U9's chasing. He's got a haste rune this time around. Says Queen of Pain, you're not the only one who can grab these. Who else can they find? Off to the left is Demons. He's just going to glimpse the TA away, and that's probably going to keep himself alive. Xingqiu's got a blink pounce in a second, and it looks like he'll hit it. Demons brought down by the Slark. Xingqiu making a lot happen with this Blink Dagger. Inflame at mid, just going to have to scurry himself away as he finds a bounty rune up top to refill his bottle.
Yeah, they need to go for the Rosh right now, as soon as possible. Then they can actually just push their advantage with the Deso and the Aegis.
Yep, they'll refill the TA's bottle, and I think that may be the call they make here with TA having mana to use Refraction and Meld, and even sets up traps to protect the pit. So into Roche we go. Warrior's Punch leading
it's just
things
a good
off.
move at this time when your Golem is cooldown. You want to make use of your time not pushing, not fighting, so you get other stuff done during the Golem downtime.
And it's Golem downtime, but it's also Sonic Wave downtime, so Echo Slam downtime. They know they're fairly safe in doing this because the big ultimates on CDEC side are down. They've got traps scouting out the way. Most of the avenues to contest Roshan are taken away from CDEC Youth.
So now they're gonna have the Aegis, and it's gonna allow them to just push though. So CDEC, when they see them pushing down a lane, they have to just go for trades on the other side of the map. They don't have actually very good D push though on the other heroes apart from the Sonic Wave from Queen, which is gonna be Aghanim soon.
Well, talk about the Battle Fury timing. It comes up now a bit after 16 minutes, so the D push probably comes more from the anti-mage, not by directly looking to spam out the lane, but maybe creep skipping, looking to push other lanes, force those TPs back, and they see Tongfu grouping up bottom, and immediately anti-mage will head top, and Slark's TP has been forced out to defend this lane, so Xingqiu going to be the lone defender for now. The rest of his team remain at bottom, and we'll see if that means CDEC Youth may look to fight this bottom lane, knowing that one hero is missing. They're going on the TA, Static Storm and everything. TA in some trouble here, and not the hero who has the Aegis. The Aegis is on the Slark. They want to kill the TA. They glimpse her back into the Witch Doctor Death Ward. Another refraction will come up, and I think keep U9 alive. Tusk had to pay for that save with his life.
Radiant's bottom tower is
I'm
under
su-
attack.
That's where the TA being on the front lines without an Aegis was very risky, considering that CDEC Youth can come back and contest that. As soon as one TP was forced, they felt confident in taking the fight. The other big thing was the Rock was still on cooldown.
Yeah, but I'm still kind of surprised that they gave the Aegis to the Slark though, instead of the TA, because TA will be sieging most of the time.
Yeah.
At least she didn't die here, and the
Well, I actually
Golem
thought
is
TA had Aegis. I was like, oh, they're using a lot in a TA, including a Static Storm for an Aegis. And I'm like, oh, wait a second, TA doesn't have Aegis. That was not what I was expecting to see. They now isolate the TA as well as the Warlock, although that's going to be a Blink, Echo Slam. The Rock has been dropped, but the kill already there on the TA. June going to look to TP out, and he's going to make it. Inflame brings down the Infernal, and with that, Tongfu's ability to fight, their damage output has been taken away. LPC in the front line is not sure he wants to fight a Queen of Pain. Inflame with one more Scream should be able to get this kill. Blink, Scream is there. Catches out both with a Mana Void as well. They can now look to bring down the Tombstone. AIM going to do just that. Has to worry about the Queen of Pain going down to the Slark, and that's exactly what's going to happen. He's going to turn and fight Xingqiu. Quickly realizes that's not a battle he's going to win, and June as well blinks away. Xingqiu pounce, not going to connect. This is where the Aegis on Slark does not pay off. They just ignore him. He's going to get a kill or two. That's kind of unavoidable, but you win the fight in CDEC's case and just give Slark maybe one kill on a support, even the Queen of Pain kill. Not too bad considering everything else that CDEC got out of that.
I can trust you guys.
They lost only two heroes, right? The Queen and the Disruptor.
Yep.
I
And
remember
they-
the Witch Doctor managed to TP out. The Earthshaker TP out as well.
Yeah, they killed
it was
4, I think, or was it just 3?
Three.
They killed
TA, the Undying, and the Tusk, right? Yeah, the three of them.
They killed Warlock too.
Oh, there's 4 then.
Yeah. I think they killed all 4 except for the Slark, and then I believe that's right. Anyways, what we're seeing right now
It's weird though. They didn't give the Aegis onto the TA.
yeah,
I don't think it was the right call.
I mean, you can just see there, it just didn't pay off. TA's in the front lines. Slark is always looking to come in later on with the Blink initiation, and it's very much the hero that's sieging in the front you want to have the Aegis on. So perhaps something to get punished for. Anti-Mage got a lot out of that. He's going to complete Vlad's now. He showed up as well, like right at the end of the fight, which is kind of the ideal time for AM to show up and look to make his dent known. Help get one kill and then take out the Tombstone, although it wasn't like he completely cleaned up the fight. He still couldn't fight the Slark. And now with the Vlad's
But
is split
but
push
still,
gets
you
here.
you win a fight like this with AM, you're gonna put yourself in a very good position when the Rock is on cooldown. If they can get this kill on the Aegis, it'll be even better.
He's going to run right into 3 heroes. Xingqiu may just need to pop the Shadow Dance. He goes silenced up. DS is there with a secondary stun. They kill him once. I don't think they look to kill him again. There's no Echo Slam. They're backing off for now, and Xingqiu blinks forward aggressively. His team's coming, but they've got no Infernal. Doesn't look like they care about that. ES blinks away. Will not get hit by the Snowball, but will get blocked by the Ice Shards. There's no Echo Slam until now. He just pops the Magic Stick, gets some mana up, and Slark blocked on the other side. Echo Slam comes out now. He's still alive, blinking through. He dukes at June with an incredible play. Gets to the high ground, now gets chased up by the Tusk Blink. Unfortunately, he'll go down anyways. Maybe if he'd blinked a different direction, but either way, it was a great little bit of individual play. And Slark, without an Aegis, has to be a bit careful here. Gets mana broken a little bit by the AM to the north. It's Icy, completely caught out. Isolated and taken down by 3 Tongfu heroes. Xingqiu
Dire's bottom
starting
tower
to
is under attack.
pack a punch. Level 14 with an S&Y. This is a hero you can't let get out of control in a team fight, especially if he steals a lot of essence shift agility. He's going to be a real menace.
Yeah, and then right now they need to.
Tower is under attack.
I think they need to do map control as well. Maybe get a gem soon. Because the AM is going to be relying on all these wards to actually be able to split push. If he sees, I think if he sees the Tusk is the biggest target because he
Yep.
is the one that has the blink and the disable. As long as he sees the Tusk on the map, he's going to be able to split push.
Yeah, if like Tusk and TA find AM, they can kill him from full HP. They both have blinks. They just both blink in with a Walrus Punch, and then TA with a Meld Strike, and AM will get snapped.
Yeah. He just needs to make sure that he has eyes, on these two. Like, I think at least one of them. If you see the Tusk, then you know where you can push. As long as you see him, you're fine with pushing. Maybe Tusk will get the gem, I'm not sure. Undying doesn't have gold for it. The Warlock support doesn't have gold as well. Maybe in near future, if they manage to actually win a fight or take another tower, they're gonna be able to have money for gem.
Alright, well, CDEC Youth
Radiant's bottom tower is
now
under attack.
again continuing the general approach of avoiding the team fight, mostly because of this last pick Warlock, giving LPC squad Tongfu such a strong team fight. They're going to be split pushing whenever they see this 5-man, although unfortunately this time around, Tongfu has the lead. They've already reached high ground and still a tier 2 tower being worked on, and TA with a Desolator can bring this down fairly quickly. The Tombstone gets dropped to cover this. AM will probably look to TP back as late as
He doesn't
possible.
have a TP. He
He's
doesn't have a TP.
all in then. He's basically telling his team, you guys are defending without me. The Static Storm comes out. The Rock gets dropped. Xingqiu's trapped inside the Silence, but the damage follow-up isn't there. The Sonic Wave comes, but it's going to get the TA. If anything, this is enough. That's the push power. That's the damage. They've got to get back and defend. Where's the TP? Slark has one. He has to make sure it doesn't get cancelled. Luckily, the Tombstone will stop any kind of a blink. There's the TP. Slark is home. He's back to defend with the Tusk. Unfortunately, CDEC.Y is going to clean up the rest of the Tongfu stragglers. They all go down. AM actually dies, though. Oh, no. Blink, Walrus Punch, and the Slark there as well. That is not what you wanted from your AM split push. I feel like CDEC were so close there to winning a fight convincingly. If they'd somehow managed to stop the Slark TP and prevent him from getting away, it could have been huge for them. But even so, it was still a good fight.
How did the AM die? He just died to one combo.
I think it was a just Blink, Walrus Punch, and then a Slark combo. He was probably already a bit low from tanking the tower, is my guess, because he didn't have much of a creep wave when he was split pushing, so he was probably tanking the tower as well.
Yeah, he must have not been full HP. I wasn't paying attention. I don't
Walrus
think they could have
Punch
killed
into a
him.
snowball, and yeah, Slark does the right-click
I don't
damage.
think they could have killed him if he was full HP with a blink out.
Yeah,
He should be able to.
I agree.
So right now, it's not the ideal situation, but it's still really good for CDEC, even though they lost the AM. They managed to repel the push. Golem has a very long cooldown, so every push that you repel, you win a team fight against the Golem. It's a position that you put yourself further ahead by every move you make after that.
Well, Winter, in good news, we have a working Roche timer.
Is this working?
It looks to me it's working.
So it's what, 1 minute?
Yeah,
2 minutes?
let's find out. Hallelujah. Praise Gaben. We've got a Roche timer. I'm liking it. Baby steps, and I mean, considering how new Reborn is, we're getting closer and closer to being fully functional day by day. All the little kinks being worked out bit by bit, and we'll see if CDEC can work out Tongfu here. They're going to go in on the Tusk. They get the silence off and everything. They don't want to give him any chance to get a snowball. Needs the Sonic Wave with the Glimmer Cape being used, and they decide it's worthwhile, especially considering they've got the Aghanim Scepter. Sonic Wave will be up by the time the Warlock Rock is available. Blink forward, Slark is there with a pounce, Inflame, defensive Yules. He'll get another blink off because of this nice defensive play. If anything, he's actually, he's going to hold his ground and fight for a little while. Force out another Dark Pact. Meanwhile, AIM is just going for the split push mid, but quickly realized that is not going to work. That's a nice just bit of scrappy play coming out from CDEC there.
They still got a kill and got out scot-free,
Yeah.
Scrappy it is. They
And-
still made the best out of it.
They wasted Tongfu's time. Like, Tongfu even chased afterwards. Anti-Mage got more farm. He's getting closer and closer to the Manta style. It was definitely a great result for them. Oh, Xingqiu gets the bash instantly on Icy, cancels his TP. Bit of misfortune there. First hit bash. Dang, these teams have a bit of a rivalry going on. Tongfu not afraid to lay down some smack. This is like some NA Dota stuff. The ... dots. All they need is the all chat question marks. That's my favorite one. You just give them the question mark.
Okay, so they're definitely gonna give the TA the Aegis this time.
Dire's middle
Yeah,
tower
Slark's not there to ruin it. Or is he? He's coming. Slark, don't do it, please.
Oh my god, are they actually going to give it
Oh,
to Slug again?
I
Yeah,
feel like
he
it's still
made Slug.
better on the TA than the Slark. And he... okay. We'll see how this works. Not judged quite yet. They're going to go blinking in. Warriors punch on Demons. Demons in trouble. He goes down. Drop the Static Storm, so at least he go for his spells. LPC dropped a rock, but it didn't really get too much done. Inflame's looking for one more Blink Scream to get the kill. Gets him just with the right click. He blinks to the side. Has to be careful because Slark's on top of him. Needs a defensive Yules. This will buy him time for a Blink escape. Oh, he gets bashed, though. Is there a follow-up bash? Doesn't look like it. Xingqiu has a Blink in 3. Inflame has a Blink in 2. Xingqiu will not get another bash. If he got it, it could have been a kill. Now there's a blink afterwards. Xingqiu looking for the bash. Doesn't need it in the end. Chases him down. Icy could be the one getting bashed up. Where is it? 3 right clicks, not a single bash. He's got to say, what is going on? My tools are broken.
Dire's
Gotta take him
bottom
back to
tower
the
is under
repair
attack.
shop, but either way, it's a successful team fight for Tongfu.
Radiant's middle tower
Aegis on the Slark doesn't end up mattering who has the Aegis because it was just decisive stuff one way or another. And they're gonna look to break high ground off of this.
Radiant's middle tower
I think
They
they're
have
just
the Golem. The Golem is finishing though. They won't have it for to push.
That's one way to use an Aegis. Kind of just ran in and fed there, but I guess that's sometimes what you do with an Aegis. Glimpse back, Static Storm not available, but they've got a cast. He pops the Shadow Dance, goes in looking for Icy, hits him with a maim as well as a bash, and Icy still fairly healthy. Xingqiu, please. This game is not in the bag just yet. Aim's blinking after in hot pursuit, but... oh, they got the glimpse! They got vision! Oh, no. Fissure available. Gonna be on the wrong side, though. Xingqiu walks into a silence, can walk to the south to get out, has a blink. Can he get a chance to use it? Dark Pact is there, needs to blink out to the south. AM doesn't get the right click. Can he blink after? 2 more seconds to wait. Xingqiu... oh, he's gonna look to turn and fight. He's starting to heal up. His team has arrived once more. They've lost the Disruptor as well. Ooh.
What? What just happened?
That fissure just slightly off the mark. I mean, it just came back off cooldown, and by the time it was available, I don't think he could really have gotten the block off. If he got the fissure on the right side, Slack was dead.
It's difficult for the Shaker to get the fissure there.
No,
on the
that
right
was-
side, 'cause you're
that
just
was
thinking about landing
hard.
the fissure there. Yeah, that was really hard for him to land it on the right side.
If it
It's
was
not even-
available earlier, he had time to block him off, but by the time it came up, it was like, well, Slack's already further away than you'd like him to be, so... unfortunately, I don't think you can really blame June at all for that one. He just wanted to make sure they hit the fissure, like you said.
So right now they're gonna just barrel down 5 men, I think. Golem is up soon. 10 seconds.
Well, CDEC youth have all they could hope for as
They're
far
not
as
going.
their spells go. They're going to look to split push top, so they're already getting the lanes in a good position. Inflame at mid.
Dire's
He needs to be
structures
careful. That
are
Blink Slark
fortified.
has caught up to him once or twice already, and he'll give up the tower to be denied. But even a denied tier 1 mid at this stage of the game, still an acceptable outcome, although it looks like they may not even decide to deny it. They'll just leave it up as a kind of a TP location more than anything. When your heroes respawn, you want to have that access point far up in the map to get back to the fray as soon as possible.
The AM can actually just easily get the tower though, so I'm not sure about that.
We'll see. For now, they're hiding in the trees, Winter. It's like they're just
They
going on
don't
a
have
little
wards,
picnic.
so if you have wards, then it's okay to make this move. Usually when teams make this move, especially I see it on Matt, he always has a ward, so you just place a ward outside to see if you can actually get a free pick off
Yeah.
when you're hiding here.
I think more than anything, they were just hiding because they knew Tongfu was coming their way. So, and they don't. There's no point TPing back now. I guess the only point to TP now earlier is to reset your TP cooldown. But they're in a position where June's just going to actually get a creep wave here. So, in some
Dire's
ways,
middle
Free tower.
tower is under attack.
Free tower, dude. You should have denied it.
yeah, maybe
long ago.
should have denied it. It's I mean, for AM, I guess it's what, an extra 500 or so. For the team, they each get a 150-ish.
Every
Well,
bit counts, you know.
it does count. No, it's definitely... But at the same time, there's potential that having that tier 1 tower up could lead to making something happen. Bottom lane, Xinq's going to be careful. Potential for a glimpse static storm. He's going to get stuck in the static field, but he got off the Shadow Dance. The Shadow Dance will save his life, and now the counterplay comes from the Tusk. Demon's in trouble. Upheaval will be used, and he's going to be the sacrifice. Ambitious play, because as soon as Slack sees himself getting glimpsed there, he can instantly Shadow Dance, and even if you silence and kinetic field him, he's still invis and you can't hit him. Not to mention he now has a BKB. Although I don't think he had that BKB when they went on him.
No, he just bought the BKB. It's a good choice here against the Shaker and the Disruptor. You need spell immunity against that. Oh no, poor Icy again.
Xinq even going to BKB for it. Not going to find the Shaker, it looks like. Is his 10-second BKB. As elsewhere, Queen of Pain gets a solo kill. Okay. Warlock goes down, and that... It means you kill the Witch Doctor. You can't really transition into a push without your Warlock, so... Not a bad pick-off to be getting for Queen of Pain, who... It looks like has almost enough money for a Scythe of Vice. Hex will be the name of the game for Inflame. Just needs another 200 gold for it.
Just a good choice though for Queen in general against the BKB targets.
Do you think that BKB kill on Witch Doctor is even worth it? Because that is his 10-second BKB.
Probably not. But he didn't felt confident to go in for the kill without BKB because his ulti was on cooldown. And Earthshaker was like lifting his hands. He wanted to make sure he gets the kill.
Yeah, and I kind of agree that I don't think... Maybe if they had a push right afterwards with the Warlock rock, but Warlock died elsewhere. And, yeah, he didn't get his follow-up kill on the ES, so... Maybe...
He wanted to get both the kills as well, I saw, but
yeah.
he didn't get both. So it's kind of felt like it didn't worth it, but it didn't change too much of the game because Warlock still died at the end of the day. So they still had to wait for the Warlock to come back alive before they can push again.
Trying to catch up to Antimage here in the top lane with the smoke of all things, but not an easy hero to find, and not a hero they will find. Xinq will, I imagine, complete the Abyssal Blade now that he's got a BKB. He can look to use that to maybe fight the Antimage head-on. Antimage who will be going for evasion, though, so with Butterfly coming up, Slack will have to consider at least an MKB at some point.
I think he finishes his Abyssal first, then he makes the MKB after.
He's farming well enough, and the AM is not becoming a huge threat in a teamfight alone by himself, by any means. The TA, it's more important, I feel, the TA gets an MKB. If anything, I'd say TA goes for MKB before getting the data list, so TA can kill the AM. But we'll see what the call of action is going to be.
Radiant's top tower.
Yeah, I could see that happening as well. I think at this point the MKB is much more valuable than the data list.
Yeah. Especially since TA with I guess both TA and Slack have Blink, but TA is more likely to be the one to follow up the Blink Walrus Punch and look for the AM kill, but both TA and Slack are roaming around a lot. So smoke from Tongfu. Roshan coming up sometime in the next 3 minutes. We'll find out soon with our...
Yeah, I'm gonna catch someone. There's a ward there. They see everything.
Oh boy. AM Illusion's gonna be in the front lines. They're gonna take the high ground here. It's a Radiant ward that will spot these heroes immediately. They're going on the Earthshaker to start things off, but June has a Ghost Scepter. Force ups to the high ground. The snowball will catch June. He's also been invis. He's got the Glimmer Cape on. He's gonna survive, and Tongfu need to be careful. They haven't overextended here. They go chasing aim. They don't get the bash. The evasion working with advantage. They're going to drop the rock and everything. Can he get the blink out? There's another Warrior's Punch. He gets out on 90 HP. Meanwhile, Warlock, Undying, both dead to the Sonic Wave of the Queen of Pain. Queen of Pain also blink escapes. Demon now in trouble. Drops the Static Storm. Xinq has no BKB and will get trapped inside this. Blink. Echo from June, possibly a bit ambitious. He'll pay for this with his life, but Xinq may die in return. He goes down. It's well worth it for the Earthshaker, and the Anti-Mage may look to go on the chase, as does the Queen of Pain. One more Shadow Strike tick, and it's going to be a dead Tusk. Inflame completes the 4th kill. They're looking for the 5th. U9's got no escape. It's going to be a team wipe. Inflame gets his Rampage denied by the Anti-Mage, who gets 1,000 gold for ending the TA's mega kill streak. Oh boy. That was not the rock usage you were hoping for onto the Anti-Mage, I imagine. Anti-Mage did buy back though. He did end up dying and he bought back.
Yeah, but they lost so much though.
is under attack.
I think the Undying and the Undying actually got killed very quickly in the fight. I think by the Queen. Because they were like fighting in a very weird position. They jumped into the high ground to chase the Shaker. but
They were
couldn't
kind of
finish
like,
it.
well, all the carries chased the anti-mage into the trees, so then suddenly the Undying and Warlock were like in the front lines. The rest of the team could just walk up and kill these squishy
Yeah,
supports.
they didn't follow up fast enough though, I think, from the slug. The slug pounced on the Earthshaker and the Earthshaker popped Ghost Scepter, and they didn't finish him there during the pounce duration, so he was able to force stuff up the high ground. And then from then on, it was a really difficult proposition to chase into the high ground there for Tongfu. I'm not sure where the Tusk was, but
Illusion.
I think they needed the Tusk to follow up on that kill much more quicker than that. Need a
Okay.
gem, man. These Glimmer Capes.
Yeah. They threw so much to chase the Earthshaker, and he lives on his high ground with Glimmer Cape, Ghost Scepter, and it's causing problems. June baited in the enemy team there, and well, that puts Tongfu in a spot where they're probably going to wait for next Roshan. Our Roshan clock is broken again, maybe. What's going on here?
Is it fine?
Is it?
They just killed Roshan.
Oh, they
right?
just
So
killed
this is-
Roshan. No, you're right. They're right. It is fine. I'm drawing blanks. No, okay, it's working again.
They're confusing me. Like,
No,
is
no.
it-
For a second I thought it was broken, but no, it's fine. So, yeah, CDEC, the ones who just took, they're gonna wait for the Aegis to expire, if anything, and then they want to take their next fight. But right now, with Aegis and Cheese on the Radiant side, it's gonna be a struggle for him.
They're gonna have a MKB on the TA for the next fight, hopefully.
Oh, Blink Hex, Xingqiu in trouble. They get him with the Fissure as well. Echo Slam, they'll blow up Slack. He does have buyback available, but they may lose Tusk as well. Nice Snowball Blink escape. But this tier 2 tower in trouble, and they're going to look to force out the Slack buyback. I imagine they will continue to push here and
Under attack. Dire's middle tower has fallen.
see
They're
that.
gonna try to use the Golem, then buy back. They won't buy back so far.
Well, they know there's no Echo Slam, but with Aegis and Cheese, this will be a hard fight to win even with a buyback from Slack. Oh, he missed the Blink Warrior's punch. Didn't hit him with it. Nice Blink escape there. The Fissure off the mark as well, though. Inflame in the front line's going to be a little bit careful. Blinks backward defensively.
I am ever so grateful.
Disruptor just continuing to medallion up the anti-mage, giving that little bit of extra armor on the front lines. And Slack still holding on to that buyback. It does feel like CDEC will get racks in this 35-second window unless Tongfu commit to that buyback. And I'm going to go forward, bring down the tomb. This time the Blink Warrior's Punch does catch him. Tusk gets low here. Doesn't get the blink out. There's the rock. Slack still holding on to that buyback, not waiting to use it. Aim very low in the front lines. Blinks back. Has the Aegis still, and I think Slack just trying to hold on to the buyback so we can just respawn, and AM is low. If they can burn through this Aegis, the upheaval, they are slowing this down. AIM now just blinks through it and will hit the melee racks. Without a glyph, it looks like this may be the end of the melee racks, and Tongfu, no Infernal available. Slack may have respawned, but it doesn't look like they're going to get much in return. They snowball in forward, but that's snowball to his own death. Tusk gives Anti-Mage a freebie. Now Inflame actually blinks forward aggressively. Slack goes on the back lines with a BKB. Can they deal with this Slack? Icy's the new target. He's already used the Glimmer Cape, and as a result, he could be in some trouble. The Static Field not going to lock Slack in place as he is BKB. The Totem will catch him. The Fissure follows. Xingqiu gets silenced now. He's going down and going down fast. Is it going to be enough? Just barely. The Sonic Wave used even. AIM in the front line still has an Aegis. There's no chance of bringing down him, at least not twice. You may get him once. You're not getting him a second time. Butterfly going to help out against the TA, who still does not have an MKB. He's just got the money for it, but has to be careful here as they are defending their high ground. They may want to hold on to buybacks, but it feels like they just need to get that MKB for TA, and I imagine we'll see that courier flying out soon. Slack bought back and everything. This is suddenly looking very hard for Tongfu to win this game.
It is. That slug buyback. They tried to hold on until they didn't have to use it for the first defense, but in the end, he still died though. He kept chasing. They didn't have enough lockdown though. It was just very evident that he got kited around too much in the team fights by the Glimmer Capes, the Ghost Scepter, and whatnot. And he wasted his BKB without killing anyone, and the Shadow Dance as well.
Well, there's the MKB. We talked about picking this up before the data list, and that's exactly what U9 has done. And the Aegis expiring very soon. The Anti-Mage, through all of that, still has the Aegis, by the way, but unlikely to get a
expiring
chance to
soon.
use it.
Yeah, it's expiring soon.
So that'll be gone. Not something Tongfu has to worry about. But the question's more whether they can go for a smoke gank during this, or if they're going to maybe wait for the next Roshan for themselves. Smoke status is they've got one on the Undying, and I imagine they will go for this smoke as soon as the Aegis is expiring. This is a very common play for teams, especially when they're behind and their opponents have an Aegis. Is as soon as that Aegis expires, smoke up and look for a big high priority pickoff. Anti-Mage is on the high ground here. Question is, does he scout them out from the high ground?
This is gonna be tricky though.
Oh, he pops the smoke. That's in flame on the side here. He then shivers up as well. Sees a couple. He's in a great little spot here. The pounce not going to be on point here. Who's it going to be? It's the Antimates they kind of look for, but they haven't got the lockdown for him. Antimate just blinks in with a Mantis Cell, brings down the tomb. The Rock is there. The counter initiation. U9 is on the AM. AM is low. He blinks out to the side. That'll keep him barely alive for now. They're pinging him out. They want to get this kill. They've lost Earthshaker as well as Disrupt on the Radiant side in exchange for a Tusk. U9 doing some serious damage here. He's looking to chase down the Queen of Pain, but the Yules will prevent him from chasing. AM did die to the Slark. Xingqiu chased him down with the Blink Dagger, and that is a much-needed pick-off, although AM does have buyback, so if they go for a high ground play, they will be met by an AM buyback, and with their Warlock Infernal on cooldown, not sure they can really threaten high ground, but either way, that's the kind of fight they were looking for, and with the smoke timings, their next smoke will be up in about 4.5 minutes. That times up pretty nicely with when Roshan will come online, so they'll have a smoke around Roshan. And we could look to see something similar for Tongfu. And I feel like the game plan is very much do exactly that when you have your next smoke.
They cannot afford to lose any more fights, so
Yes.
they lose one more fight, I think they lose the game already. But for CDEC, they can maybe lose another extra fight. They can lose 2 fights before they have to tap out. So CDEC are still in a much better position here with the AM.
I imagine Tongfu will just go all in. Like, pick up the Abyssal Blade as soon as possible. Pick up
Yeah, I think they
the
don't have much
Daedalus.
choice.
Actually, Slark
Well-
picks up a Demon Head, so he's going MKB, which also works at this stage. You know why? It's not just Butterfly, it's also a Solar Crest. It's
a
stacked evasion on the AM.
I still feel kind of like he needs more lockdown though. He's always like constantly getting kite in fights.
Tongfu looking for a pick on Inflame. The snowball hits him though. Inflame got caught by this one. He can self-Yules and he's going to look for a Blink Escape. Xingqiu's praying for a bash. He's going to get it with the first hit. Inflame blinks to the left. Chase after with a blink from the Slark. They find him again and they'll bring him down. Slark! He gets 1,000 gold from the Anti-Mage, 950 gold from the Queen of Pain, and suddenly he's Mr. Moneybags. He's going to have an MKB in no time at all. All right.
Yeah, he's gonna have it for sure before the Roche fight happens.
I mean, and the AM with Butterfly as well as the Solar Crest, he's sitting on like 45% evasion or something ridiculous with the evasion, the way the evasion stacks. So this is
diminishing stacks, right?
Yeah, I mean you can't like it's not like it's not additive, but it's still pretty damn high evasion when you've got 35% and then 30% from the Solar Crest. It's something. It'd be close to 50%. I almost feel 50% evasion is a lot of damage block, and that's where I can kind of see why he wants the MKB over the Abyssal Blade. I'm sure we've got some people with their calculators out in chat who can let us know the exact amount that we're looking at. But right now, CDEC Youth have to be a little wary because this game is not secured just yet, especially if they've lost map control in the way they kind of that it seems right now, because that means next Roshan could be going the way of Tongfu. They almost find another pickoff as well. Disruptor barely gets the TP out in the trees.
Is it spawning in... What? Is this the maximum time? Oh no, it's already spawned. Right? What?
Winter, apparently according to our chat, it's 17% evasion. No,
71%.
you ask the chat for some math and this is what they give you. 17%, okay. Good to know. So if it's 17% chance to evade, it's basically he'll always evade shit. That's how I understand that. Oh.
That's why you have no choice but to get an MKB.
Yep. 17% evasion sounds better than 54.5% evasion. To me. At least based on Valve's idea of 17%. All right, let's see what CDEC Youth can do at this stage with Aegis claimed with ease by the Dire. They give it to the Tusk. Cheese picked up on the Warlock. So both carries kind of maxed out here.
The AM just spent all his gold, so he doesn't have buyback.
That, to me,
Risky.
means CDEC Youth have to play... Yeah, you could just lose the game. AM dies, you've lost the game right there. I think they're going to play stalling Dota while there's an Aegis and Cheese on the Dire side. Even if it is an Aegis on heroes like Tusk. They know AM can be dealt with by the MKBs now. Similarly, though, Winter, to be fair to CDEC, Slack also has no buyback. He also has no Aegis or Cheese. So it's not just the AM in that situation. Slack is in the exact same boat. And everybody knows fish hate being in boats. They want to be in the water.
They have Aegis on the Tusk and Cheese on someone else. On Nanyang? Who has the Cheese? Warlock?
Warlock.
So Warlock has... This is the first fight that he has Aghanims, right? He didn't have Aghanims to the fight before.
Yeah. I don't feel like the Aghanims is a big upgrade this late in the game, though.
It's the stun duration, though, because you get stunned by...
2 in a row.
You get stunned by 2 seconds now, right? Because you have 2 realms when you actually cast it instead of 1. I remember that's how it works.
Oh.
And it's BKB piercing stun, so I don't think anyone has BKB, but...
It feels like this game will enter a farming state for a while, with neither carry having buyback. Both carries are still looking to finish their Abyssal Blades as well. Like Slack just sitting on the Basher, same story for the AM. The Abyssal Blades definitely help a lot in the late game, so... I don't see either team making a high ground attempt. They may look to use smokes for pickoffs, but for now, CDEC are grouped up towards bottom. I feel them not looking just to 5-man push here. They're trying to get a pickoff or find some kind of little play they can make. They're not looking to just brute force their way through Tongfu.
I think the first move is always to just wait for the Aegis to expire, then try to make a move. Unless you are sure that someone's alone, that it's a free pickoff.
Something to keep in mind is Inflame has a lot of money, Shivers and 5.4k gold.
I feel Refresher would be the next choice.
I was going to suggest the same thing, Winter. You know what I'm thinking?
What else could be better than Refresher right now? I don't think so.
Damn, the only thing I could think of is like maybe an AC, but I don't think that's better. I think AC is viable, but I don't think it's better than the Refresher.
It's a entirely different choice though. It gives the whole team armor.
Yeah.
It's good versus the Melch, like the PA Melstrike and the Vessel.
You could go right-click damage as a quap, like AC, or even instead of the AC, you go for like a, I guess, dataless type item, but...
If you go AC, you go dataless after, I guess.
And that's, I guess, long-term planning. You can sell your ags and get the dataless later on, or sell the
Refresher,
Yules.
it's like you don't have any other right-clicker. And if you look at what Tongfu have there, basically 3 right-clickers if you want to count the Tusk.
Oh, I don't know if I count the Tusk with his items. I mean, he's got a Walrus Punch, but outside the Walrus Punch, he's not right-clicking in a fight.
Yeah, it's more of the utility side of the hero that he provides in team fights.
Well, this game coming down to the wire. This is the Game 3 decider. The loser of this is knocked out of the Nanyang Championships, the Chinese qualifier. The winner will go on to verse eHome in a best-of-3 directly afterwards. They may be a bit worn out by this best-of-3, but their hopes of getting to Singapore for the LAN finals will still be alive. For now, Inflame holding on to money. He wants to make sure he has buyback more than anything. So if he can... He wants to be able to buy that big item and then a buyback, I imagine, at the same time. Although, with that said, he drops his TP. He buys BKB. Very defense... What's this actually block, I feel? Snowball?
Pretty much nothing apart from Snowball. And
I feel like that's an odd pickup.
Fatal Bonds? I don't know. What else? There's nothing that he blocks, really.
Can we just call that a terrible pickup, Winter? Do you think that's fair to say? It feels like a terrible pickup.
We should say that it's a dubious pickup.
That sounds like a euphemism for terrible.
That's what we use when we question a move in chess, you know. When you make a very weird play, you get an exclamation mark and question mark on the notation. Dubious play.
Is that the computer saying that, or is that the other player saying that?
No, it's in the chess books, you know, when they are analyzing a game.
Gotcha.
When you have the notations. I don't know if you actually read a chess book before. You have those notations beside the moves that tell you what the author thinks about the move. So when
Okay.
the author thinks it's a weird move, unexplainable play, he puts a question mark and an exclamation mark together on that
Dire's
play.
middle tower is under attack.
Dubious play. If it's a blunder, he puts a double question mark on the play.
But and he still says dubious, or is there a different word for that?
No, it's just a blunder if it's
Okay.
double question mark. This is pretty much close to a blunder, I think.
Yeah,
Dire's bottom
it feels
tower
like
is
it.
under attack.
I feel like Refresher and AC are the two best choices that he has.
Well, we'll see how things go. Maybe he's worried about like a late game TA Hex or something, but for now there's gonna be a Blink Warriors Punch initiation. The BKB, it blocks a Snowball Winter. It's done something. We've been completely proven wrong by Inflame. He blocks a stun using it, and now he's going to look to turn and fight. Goes in on Xingqiu. Aim's been bashed up a little bit. The rock there as well. He's forced to blink back defensively as he cannot fight the TA. The Slark going to catch up. He's looking for the bash. He gets it onto Aim, but quickly forced to blink away, and now the Hex is there. Inflame, Sonic Wave, Xingqiu getting low. Needs another Scream. The damage is there. They bring him down. Slark dead. They still haven't dealt with the Anti-Mage. He gets the Mana Void off. Tusk goes down. Oh boy, that Slark does not have a buyback, remember. And this is where Tongfu, fighting without that buyback, may get punished here. U9 on the TA gets brought down as well. Slark, no, he does have the buyback. He just uses it. I think he was just like 10 gold short as Queen of Pain blinks forward, and that's going to complete the team wipe. As Tongfu get slaughtered at bottom. They came so close to killing the AM a few times. He just manages to blink out, get a bit of that Heart of Trash regen, and then turn things around.
Dire's bottom tower has
Well, the Snowball 1.25 second stun was blocked by a BKB Winter. What can we say for ourselves?
It's not like he's gonna die if he didn't get the block
No,
on.
I don't think it actually mattered per se, but
I don't know. If he had anything else, they would have still won the fight. So doesn't matter.
yeah. If he had a refresher, he would have had double Hex and double Sonic Wave, and the Slack would have died even easier.
Oh, no boots anti-mage. Haven't seen this in a while.
What's he got?
Anti-Mage
Oh,
act-
AC. Oh.
Anti-mage actually still has a lot of room to build. You know, he can build Abyssal and Moonshot before he actually goes no boots anti-mage. This is early.
I guess he really wanted the AC, because like you could even see at that last fight, the TA, when TA blinked in and he had half HP, he's like, I gotta get the hell out of here. This TA will destroy me. So the AC, I feel like, was an essential item, but like you say, there was room to grow. But the items he could have got, the Moonshot and the Abyssal, are all offensive items. I think he felt like he needed this defensive item to stay alive.
It comes down to personal preference, I say. There's no right and wrong anymore at this late stage for the AM to choose from. All the
Roche
items are
respawning in 5 seconds. A very fast Roche respawn, and are they going to wait for it long enough? It looks like it. They seem to know. And Roshan spawns in front of their eyes. Queen of Pain can drop the Yules and grab this.
And you give the cheese to...
Earthshaker, maybe? I guess Earthshaker's got a gem. He can pass it over or give it to Icy. Earthshaker will drop the gem and take the... Yeah, he take the Aegis, actually. Queen of Pain
Oh, no one wants the
took
Aegis.
nothing. Okay. Queen of Pain's going to just use buyback and Boots of Travel, it looks like.
Yeah, I guess it works still because Shaker has no buyback.
And Shaker offers a lot in a team fight. This is very short cooldown stuns that can come out on 5-second BKB. Slack, 5-second BKB. TA, 6-second BKB. And this is where Earthshaker in late game is actually very... If he's staying alive, which with Ghost Scepter, Glimmer Cape, and Full Staff he will, he's going to be locking down these cores constantly. AM in the front lines gets jumped on. He has not got the Aegis. Can they burst him down? Who knows? Let's find out in the next episode of Perfect World Lag PowerPoint presentations. And it looks like they're going to disengage, blink back, and that's going to be that for the high ground push for now. AM will heal up with the Heart of Tarask and be able to go back in. They take out the Sigil. Tombstone on cooldown. And just a Sonic Wave used from CDEC. That's going to be back up in about 20 seconds.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
It looks like the tomb going to expire shortly.
The rock was the biggest cooldown there that they
Yep.
use. Who else has buyback? They don't really have buyback on anyone.
It feels like Tongfu really need a sheep
EA
stick for the
EA
anti-mage.
has no buyback. No one has buyback though. Undying, only Undying.
AM is backing on the front lines with that Solar Crest. Even if you're not getting the evasion against the carries, you're still getting a lot of armor. He's sitting on close to 50 armor right now. Good luck bringing him down. Glyph not available. They go in the Blink Warriors punch. He's going to just say hello to good old Tusk. Brings him down. U9 blinks in, but is met with a Manta Style, and that's going to be his mana pool depleted. which is a bit of a problem when you want to have that refraction and meld to play around with. AM in the front lines trying to battle the TA. He's going to lose that fight. The crit to the face gets him down to 100 HP, but he does not go down. Importantly, the Fatal Bonds is ticking away. I think whatever he was bonded to ended up dying or something like that. Inflame, I think. Actually, Inflame was the one taking damage who was bonded to. So AM will now heal up. Heart of Trask available. He almost died to the Fatal Bonds damage. Very, very close.
Yeah, that AC there definitely helping him survive there. Maybe he would have definitely died if he gone for any other items.
Is Fatal Bonds magic or pure damage?
It reflects what damage the guy takes. I remember reading the patch log on that. So if the guy is taking spell damage, it bonds spell damage to you.
Okay, so if it's physical damage, it'll still do a decent amount to the anti-mage still. And he can't evade it, obviously.
I'll go read it up, be right back.
Yeah. I'm sure AM was probably yelling at his team there like, guys, stop taking Fatal Bonds damage. I'm about to die here. AM in the front lines. Gets bashed up. Is there any follow-up disables? Doesn't look like it. Gets the blink out. Sonic Wave comes through. Xingqiu in trouble. He does not have buyback, as we've mentioned a few times. So he's healing up with the Shadow Dance. Goes chasing, but he just can't deal with these pesky Ghost Scepters. Just keeping alive the team. Meanwhile, the tier 4 tower's being taken out as well. The Warlock goes in, gets a kill on the Disruptor. U9 being slowed down. These slows are so hard to deal with. They've taken out both the two supports. Can they get any of the important heroes? Cores like the Queen of Pain, who now has an Octarine core. Doesn't look like they'll be able to keep up. Tongfu still alive and healthy. And this is buying them time for stuff like the Earthshaker Aegis to potentially expire. It feels like they really need a Sheepstick, though. Maybe the TA sells, like, Blink Dagger and gets a Sheepstick. I don't know, because this AM is causing... They just don't quite have the lockdown to deal with the AM.
No, that's why they needed the Abyssal.
Oh, no.
Nope, no Abyssal
Caught out.
anymore.
Yeah, the Abyssal's the other... Like, instead of the Sheepstick, you could have the Abyssal. But here we go. The Rock gets dropped. AM on the receiving end. But he can blink out if he gets into trouble. It looks like he's going to be just fine. Fighting the TA, but the BKB is there. The Warrior's Punch, not quite enough. Aim gets low, but gets the blink escape. U9 going to hold his ground for now. He blinks after, chases down the Queen of Pain. That's a dead Quap. He's going to immediately buy back. Wants to keep on fighting. Aim's going to be careful. The next Warrior's Punch likely to come his way. And TA, I think, deciding, I need to heal up a little bit. They're going to go for the throne here. AM has that Heart of Trask regen, so he's quickly healing up. And Tongfu, they just GG out. It's all over for Tongfu and the Nanyang Championships. CDEC Youth. Not exactly a team of young players by any means. You've got veterans and Icy, June, Inflame. Even Demons playing on that CIS squad that went to TI4 in the wildcard match. A team with some experienced players have taken out Tongfu. And it's Tongfu who will go on to the lower bracket final to meet eHome.
Well played. And by the way, about the Warlock thing, it reflects whatever, it bonds whatever damage the guy is taking. So if the guy that is taking damage is taking physical damage, it reflects, it deals physical damage to the teammates. Or if he's taking spell, then it deals spell damage to them.
Sounds good. That makes a lot more sense. Well, I don't think we've got much of a break here. It depends how long the admins want to give CDEC to prepare. The next game is scheduled to start in 5 minutes, so...
What? Why?
You may have to have bread for dinner again, Winter. No time for pubs. Just bread.
I had Subway for lunch. Please.
Please. What's wrong with Subway? Subway's good.
Subway is also bread.
Yeah, it's bread. So no more bread, you're saying.
So, well, too bad the Warlock didn't work out for them this time. But just really refreshing to see something new. Sad it didn't work out for them.
Yeah. And the Warlock seems to be an emerging pick in the Chinese scene. With the Kunkka, perhaps. Maybe we'll see some of that in the lower bracket finals. But for now, we're taking a break, guys. We'll be back. CDEC Youth taking on eHome. Best of 3 lower bracket finals. We'll see who's going to meet IG in the grand finals. That match to be played tomorrow. The Nanyang Championships China qualifier coming to an end over the next 24 hours. For now, stay tuned. We'll go to a quick break and then be back with more Dota 2.